In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this glitch effect using Photoshop. So let's get started. Hey, what's up guys, Dhruval here, and as you can see, this is the final output, and let's look at the original picture. So this is the original and this is the final effect. As you can see, we have this really cool stripes effect going on, some color effect. Also, I'm going to show you how to create this lining we normally see in old televisions. So to create this effect, I will be using this picture that I found on pexels.com. If you want to use this picture, the download link is in description. Feel free to check it out. Now to start the effect, first of all, we have to unlock the background. So double click here and hit OK. Now rename your layer. It's extremely important. So rename it to, let's say, something like model. Now we have to create a blank layer. So for that, go and click here, and your blank layer, put it under model and turn off eye of the model so you can see the background. Now go and select the paint bucket, and here make sure you have white color. Go and fill it. Now I'm gonna turn back my model layer on and activate, so we have this white background as backdrop. Now first, let's create those glitches. So for that, go and select your marquee tool, this rectangular marquee, and make a selection where you want those glitches. So I'm gonna go and click and draw a little bit of selection here, and as you can see, my feather is 0 and my first option is activated here. So once this is done, you right click in the middle of your selection and then you select layer via copy. Right now you can't say anything, but if you turn off eye of your model layer, you can see we have this little bit copy of the image. So after that, let's go to our filter, distort, and here you have this wave option. It can be a little bit annoying to use because it doesn't have any live preview, plus the box is really small, so you can't see what the hell is going on. So in the type, make sure it's square. In the number, 1 or 2 at max. Don't go further than that, otherwise it just goes real crazy and we can't see anything. So I'm gonna go and keep it to 2. In the wavelength, you can play around all day, but the important part is that these two sliders, they should not be even, as you can see here. You can do that to create something different, but for this effect, I like to keep them in different direction, and you can see the difference. As you can see, we have more control. Now in the amplitude, it's the same story. Make sure those two are not even and go and play around all day however you like. And in the scale, the important part is the vertical. Make sure it is 1 so it doesn't go upside, otherwise it will just make really tiny pieces. We don't want that for this effect. So I'm gonna go that, and in the horizontal, this slider will allow you how far your pieces will go. So I'm gonna go and keep it to somewhere around 29, and you will have to just judge it. So I'm gonna go and hit OK. And as you can see, this looks pretty okay. Now turn on eye for your model layer so you can see how it looks here. So I think this looks pretty okay, but we can do it better. So I'm gonna press Ctrl Z. So effect is gone. Turn off your model layer. So this is back. Now go and try it again. Now as you can see, it took me 3 or 4 different tries to get the effect that I needed, and don't worry because this is the only part that requires a lot of trial and error, but once you get through it, you are good. Now let's turn on the model layer to see how the effect looks. Pretty good. Now what we have to do is make a lot of tiny boxes and apply this effect on entire image. So how we gonna do it? First of all, you have to activate your model layer. This is why we name the layers. So go and activate your model layer. Make sure the marquee tool is ready always, and make a box, tiny, bigger, keep it different, keep variety. So I'm gonna go and keep this one here. Now what we do, we right click, select, and layer via copy. Now turn off the model layer so you can see the box here. Now it's simple, go to filter and just click on the wave, and it is already there. So now again, I'm gonna turn on my model layer, activate model layer, grab the marquee tool, make a selection somewhere around here, right click here, go and select layer via copy. Then again, you can go to filter and wave, or you can use the keyboard shortcut, which is Ctrl F, and boom, there's the effect. So one last time, select your model layer, go and select the marquee tool, make a selection something like this, right click here, select layer via copy. So you have a different copy here. Then go to your filter and wave. It's easy as that. So I'm gonna go and make 3 or 4 different layers. Now if you are a beginner, don't freak out if you see this many layers. It's completely normal in Photoshop. And one error that might happen when you are doing this, it is something like this. You will make a selection, then you will right click and then you say layer via copy. And this box will pop up like there is nothing to select. So simply hit OK and make sure that your model layer is active. And then when you make the right click layer via copy, it will allow you to make a copy. See, as you can see here, so that's the only thing you have to worry about. So I'm gonna go to select and deselect, and about all of these crazy layers, just click on your this layer, layer 10, hold your shift key and click on the top layer and then press Ctrl E. So it's on single layer, but also be careful that you don't select your model layer by mistake, only the stripes. So we have all these really cool looking strips. Now let's give them some color effects. So for that, let's just name it stripe, and I'm gonna make a copy of it. So press Ctrl J. After that, you right click here and you go to blending options, and here you have this channels. So first I'm gonna turn off G and B. So we have the cyan color. Hit OK. You might be thinking nothing happened, so I'm gonna show you. Activate your move tool here, then you can use your arrow keys. So I'm gonna use my arrow key to move it to the left side. And if you want a little bit faster, you can also hold your shift key and move it manually, something like this. Now let's make another copy of it. So I'm gonna press Ctrl J. So we have a different copy. This time I'm gonna right click, again blending option. This time I'm gonna turn off R, and only thing that is on is G and B. So we have this really cool red color. Hit OK. Now what we're gonna do, you can use your arrow keys like this, or you can also hold shift key and just move it manually with your mouse. So I'm gonna go and keep this one a little bit here. It's all ready. Now just like the layers, hold your shift key and click here. So all of these three are active. You can also use Control key to manually select everything. Then this time don't merge them, but simply just press Control G. So they are in a group, easy to manage. Now let's say if you think I don't want this effect on this nose and this little bit on this eye. So what you can do is go and apply a layer mask from here and select your brush tool. Now in the brush, make sure your color is black. You right click and make sure hardness is 0% and simply remove where you don't need the effect. So I'm gonna go and remove it a little bit from the eye. I'm gonna keep that little one. And I think this looks pretty cool on this chin here. So don't remove that all. Pretty sweet. Now we're gonna do the same with the model. So what do? We select the model layer, we make a copy of it, press Ctrl J, you right click and you select blending options, and I'm gonna turn off G and B. So we have the cyan, and hit OK. And yes, another important tip, if you want to move with your arrow keys, you have to make sure that this move tool is active. Then you can use your arrow keys to move, or you can move it manually. So I'm gonna go and keep this one a little bit here. So as you can see, now it blends really nice with those strips. Pretty fun. So all the hard work is done. Now let's go and create those television lines. So for that, go and create a new blank layer from here. Select your paint bucket tool, right click, paint bucket, old school paint. So go and fill it, the white color. Then go to filter, filter gallery. And in the filter gallery, let me zoom out so you can see. Now here in the filter gallery, the style you will select is halftone pattern, and in the my size is 7 and 0, but it's irrelevant because if your image is different, you will need different numbers. So just play with the sliders. And in the pattern type, this is important. So go and make sure it is line. Then go and hit OK. Now I'm gonna go and change its blending mode to soft light. Now as you can see, the effect is right there, but it's way too strong. So what I like to do is first of all go and make the opacity somewhere around like 50%, so it's not too crazy. And then what you can do is right click on your layer and select blending options. And here, as you can see, you have this blend if option. So what you're gonna do is hold your Alt key and option if you are using Apple products. So I'm gonna hold my Alt key and drag this slider a little bit in the middle. It's not very noticeable, but this will show you. So again, for this slider, you hold your Alt key and then you drag it here. So as you can see, now it blends in real good. If I zoom in here and if I turn it on and off, as you can see, it blends in nice. And you can do same for the opposite side, but I don't wanna completely remove it. So I'm gonna go and keep it a little bit here. And whenever you remove the slider, hold your Alt key. So I'm gonna go and hit OK. Now let's zoom out. So that's it, and this is the final output. Now I will admit that this is slightly more complicated method compared to other, but it also allows you a lot more creative freedom. So you pay something, you get something, and I really hope that you guys learned something from this video, and if it did, hit that like button, and if you have any kind of questions or suggestions, ask me in comment section below. And if you wanna check out more Photoshop tutorials by me, you can click on any of these boxes, and you can also subscribe to my channel. So every time I upload a new video, you will get the update, plus it will take you to my YouTube channel where I have lots of fun Photoshop tutorials just waiting for you. So till then, goodbye, take care, and have some fun with Photoshop.